What's up, Dream River World? How about today's lesson? Tell it like it is, And I tell it like it should be. That's for sure. Didn't check do makeup or anything. Just kidding. I never use makeup. If I did commercials or movies, I'd be like, no. I'm kind of photogenic anyway, so roll it, Okay, so I'm going to. I neglected to post the verses, the single verses, like I said I was going to do, but I definitely have it on the lesson for tomorrow. All right, so just be patient. I actually posted the same thing. I don't need your pity or anything, but just be patient. Like I said, it's going to take a while for everything to go like clockwork. I'm integrating everything at the same time. So just be patient, all right? I've had to do a lot of work since the hiccup, is what I'm calling it. Capital T, capital H, the hiccup. From when I got suspended for a day or day and a half or whatever. It was, probably 24 hours. And then, of course, I'm pissed off about the Facebook thing. I mean, like the whole thing, my account, whatever, I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to change for my president account, right? It's just like, but the whole time it wasn't being circulated, and I'm like, it was been months, and here I got 2 weeks till the election, it's just like, I mean, how bad can Facebook fuck up? It's like, and it's like my enemies too. They're admitting that they're acting insane and they're wrong, and but they keep doing it. And these neighbors out here, it's like they keep thinking that they can intimidate me, and I'm just like, you are pussies, I'll say it again. Come knock on my door. Shit. You got a problem with me? Come talk to me like a man. Don't be a bitch, Or don't be a faggish bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you, and that's the worst, being a gay bitch. And I'm not talking about lesbians. I'm like, if you're a dude, gay bitch, that means you're the lowest of the low. It's like, and of course, these teenagers around here, like teenagers do, they think they know everything, but they've got no experience, they've got no learning, If they haven't dropped out of school yet, they probably will, because they're not going to listen to me, even though I'm the best father figure they could have, But as far as the young kids, as long as they're looking at me, like I say, teach them while they're young, it's like, because kids, that's why school is school, because their brains are growing at an alarming rate, and your brain really isn't fully formed till you're 25, so, but punk teenagers, they don't care, they like to act like there's not a care in the world, but there is, and they don't know anything about politics, anything about technology, anything about science, anything about even religion or anything, which is kind of most of the people around here. But like teenagers are just worse. I don't dislike teenagers. All right, let me get that straight. I am here to help, but it's like, and then of course pedophile next door. He just doesn't stop, So it's gonna take me like working with the government here in Palmdale and taking this dude down. It's like there are ways to do things, and this dude, I said he is passive aggressive, which is pussy. It's like, and there might not be a word for some of the scientific and psychological things I say in Spanish, unless there is a Spanish-speaking scientist or some kind of religious person who knows a lot, or psychologist, like a psychiatrist that is from Mexico, who can talk to this guy, or Spain at least. It's like he's not going to understand because he barely knows any English, so. Anyway, he'll get the message. I can make a clip of that dog barking, and take it to the government and file another affidavit. It's like whatever it takes. Okay, so we're going to start at a different place here. I want to talk about some of these scriptures here. These two are before me talking about the cults, the other cults that are, that give cults a bad name. It's like people want to say cults is like some kind of derogatory term, and it's like, and I keep saying, Jesus and Buddha were cult leaders. I want to make that clear is that Buddha Gautama, all right, I think that's how it pronounces his name, the actual physical form of the first Buddha that Buddhism branched from, is different than me. All right, he was not God. But that's why I post this stuff, so that like Buddha was never wanted to be considered God. All right, he is like spirit, which we're about to talk about right now. The spirit is everywhere in every religion. It binds everything together, even science and art, religion, everything. And, the whole thing about electron entanglement does increase that kind of feeling like there is spirit everywhere. All right. So, okay, the first one is from the Quran, which is really important. All right. It talks about the most important thing is the last sentence, And they also talk about people listening to their forefathers, which you can apply to the United States. It's like people are so patriotic, they think the government is more important than Jesus. And Washington was some kind of savior or something, but it was all corrupted by white men. It was built by white men. And racism ran deep, even up north. It's like, and how they treated the Native Americans, of course, and the Africans. So it was even built, like, the United States was built on a foundation of lies. And the whole persecution was built on a foundation of lies. It's like, how metaphorical can it get? So anyway, that's what they do to prophets. They reject them. That's what, they thought about Jesus. Well, if we kill him, then we don't have to listen to him anymore. That kind of stuff. So, and that's the Romans and the Jews. All right. So don't blame one or the other. Blame both. Definitely. Hold on. Got to get my stars going here. Galaxies traveling through the stars, pulling up next to a Voyager. Hey, what's up? They actually don't talk, but except in zeros and ones, which is very trustworthy. Anyway, and then they think they're possessed. Like Israel thinks about Jesus. It's like, but anyway, it was the same with Muhammad. It's like, but the last sentence here is important. Okay. He has brought them the truth, and most of them hate it. But if the truth were in accordance with their desires, the heavens, the earth, and everyone in them would disintegrate. And that's exactly about like my enemies too. It's like, if everything was in accordance with what they wanted, like sick, perverted stuff, it's like, it would. Everything would disintegrate, That's why the world was headed for doom, because the United States kept pushing, live your desires, you know. The Tao says, you know, it's important to have things that don't cause desire. Like, you know, some of these commercials, like, I mean, I appreciate it and I don't, but the girls from the WNBA, right, in that Skims commercial, and people are looking at Kelsey, and I'm like, that is so awesome, but nobody would be looking. And of course, Carrington, I still don't know how to pronounce her first name. Anyway, no, I don't think it's Jazorna, but yeah, you know, I like her too, and she's in there. And then Cameron Brink. And so, like, you know, it's like, it's a cool commercial, but at the same time, these women could be mine, you know, and it's like, or they already are, and I'm like, I don't want dudes looking at that. It's kind of like, you know, if any of you women, if my enemies, remember, my enemies are liars. I don't believe anything they say, even if they're telling me the truth. Like, they are untrustworthy, all right? And I've been saying this a lot, you know. They come to you and they say, like, well, you want to do Dreamscape? But keep in mind, they always have that hidden agenda. You know, it's like they want to try to get you to do something that'll piss me off. And remember, if you do Dreamscapes, these are all digitally saved. And so it's always on file. So if they wanted to, they could show it. Like, they could transmit it on some online place, you know? It's like, so I like it hot, but don't make it porn. Like, don't get naked, you know? Don't get too sexy. Like what Andrea was wearing the last game, you know? That's kind of good, you know? It's like, of course it was fabric and it looked see-through, you know? But, like, that's as far as it goes. You know, it's like, don't get too hot. You know, of course, you know, doll yourself up or whatever. Yes, you know. And most of you girls, most of you women look good without makeup, you know, so that's a plus. It's always good to roll over and, like, you know, have a girl that looks good no matter what, you know. And I was like, yeah, let's get right to it, you know. So anyway, don't listen to my enemies. They're corrupt. They will lie to you, all right? And remember, dudes, don't do Dreamscapes. If you do, you're probably not going to be forgiven. Like, there are some dudes that did it, you know. One time Disturbed got the lead singer, I keep forgetting his name, but he went a little bit too far with them. You know, he kind of acted like I needed him, or like he was some kind of father to me, you know. So I quit playing Disturbed altogether. Tool did a Dreamscape, and I had to show them that I don't need them either. Like, all these musicians are great, but you're really just a soundtrack to my life. You know, it's like, you are not the one in control. I don't need anyone. Anyway, so like I was talking about Buddha, you know, spirit, the spirit of Buddha. Could be a shaman spirit, kind of the same thing. It's by the Apostle Paul, okay? And it's important to realize, you know, I've told you that the Apostle Peter and the Apostle Paul had a disagreement. You know, the Apostle Paul was made an apostle through a vision of Jesus. You know, he had the scales on his eyes, you know, and he had to go somewhere to wash it off, you know, and then he was enlightened, you know. So Peter, you know, pushed this the Trinity thing, which is bullshit, you know. But Apostle Paul says very clearly right here. He says, now the Lord is spirit, and where the spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. That's all there is spirit, okay? Everywhere, all of us, spirits, you know. It's like these, like I said, these are just containers that we live in, these bodies. But you got to take care of your container, all right? And so there is freedom when you realize that it's all just spirit. And I am the spirit, you know, shaman spirit, Buddha spirit, You know, it encompasses everything. That's all it is. I'm running kind of late here. I will explain that disagreement that they had, which is well known. You know, if you know religion, there is information to where they did have a bad argument. You know, the Bible plays it down, but there is other places to look. You should know by now, at least about how the Bible was compiled. Okay, so okay, now Gangster Day, right? I'm ripping a lot of people, but also giving love to people who deserve it. You know, that's the way I am. All right, so yeah, I know it's an awesome lesson. It's just like I said, like that last battle scene in the last Starfighter. Just another awesome movie, you know, kind of like Tron through a video game. You know. Okay, yeah, that's how he was trained, is playing this video game, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's the one to save everything. Okay. And then I posted something about the Quran here. You know, it's like the hypocrites do. It's like I'll tell them information, and it doesn't compute because of what they were taught. You know, and they can't let go of it because they were taught that they can sin. You know, we're all sinners, so what the fuck? Let's go sin. You know, but it's not the case. This is the second creation. There's going to be a lot of unprecedented things happening within the next few years, like it has, you know. So you do know that. But when you face people with the truth and tell them they're in a delusion, you know, they're not going to take it lightly, and then they turn away. But if something happens to them, they'll say, "Oh, we only wanted peace," but it's bullshit. Like I say, I can see right through these people, their hearts, you know. And then, of course, the cool line here: God knows well what is in the hearts of these people, so ignore what they say, instruct them, and speak to them about themselves using penetrating words. All right, that's a powerful verse right there. This whole thing right here, you know, it's like the Quran is so powerful. And it's not really the location, but the Quran really does link everything together, especially with Sufism, you know, so. Okay, and the Buddha here about loving kindness. This is an excellent meditation, all right? You get meditated, clear all the stuff out of your mind, and then you envision the earth, right? And then it's 1/4 of the earth. And read this, you know, understand. And then it's 1/2 of the earth, you know, on the next breath. And then it's one... Anyway, and then it's 1 or 3/4 of the earth. All right, that's the next breath. And so you're focusing on loving kindness over the whole world, you know, and that's kind of how I took control of the world. And then it's the whole world, you know. It's like you gotta try to love everybody. I know it's difficult, but the more you practice it, the more you'll do it. And yeah, it does. You'll get hurt, you know, but you find out who not to trust by opening up, you know. You got to get tough. You know, that's the only way you're going to find the truth, is if you can go through that, or you can go through a persecution, you know, get beat down and keep going, you know, and sticking to nonviolence. That's what Martin Luther King was all about. He's trying to bring in the civil rights movement, but in a peaceful way, you know. You got these gay people, and they're just like, I saw a bunch of lesbians barking like dogs the other day, you know. It was just, was it a few months ago? Whatever. If they pull this video because I said faggish, you know, it's like, those who practice fagism, lesbians are lesbians, and then those who practice fagism could be like men, that's what they're called, So that's the way I see it. I should be able to say it, but it's like the word nigger. If you use that a lot, and you got to use it in quotes, because if you don't use it in quotes, then it can be derogatory. All right. I mean, no offense when I say the word nigger on here. All right. It is actually something that is has a good point to it. All right. So don't think it's racist. I just don't like the whole ginger thing. And that's not to get at blacks. That's really to get at whites. It's like I said, white men, they destroyed everything. They're so selfish and greedy, and they think they're top of the world. And we didn't start off white. So remember that. Anyway, okay, now. All right. So awesome. Okay. Now this next one's very, very important. It teaches more about meditation. Okay. Hold on. There we go. If I show you, then I can't post it on Facebook, obviously, or YouTube either. So, not that I care. It's like whatever. It's big enough. Megan says, more than enough. So I'm not worried about that. It's like that's fine. That's not something I focus on. Is my dick size. And I'm very good at what I do. You can ask around. Even my ex-wife, she'll tell you. Anyway, it's all about meditation. The whole way you get energy and power is by gathering potential. If you go around and you don't rest, if you don't meditate, you're not going to have that potential. You'll just be going, on empty, basically. And if you don't meditate, it will cause problems, because your head will build up with problems and problems and problems. So yeah, it's important, and it teaches you here how to do it. And when it says, but only he who having the kingdom goes to the mother can keep it long. That the mother here, like I've said before, is the multiverse, right? The multiverse is within us, right? It's the mysterious female within us, a spring that never ends, like Jesus said. I will give you springs of living water for free. That's what it all is, because that's when you go back to the unborn. Stop all the rebirths, go back to the unborn, and then the multiverse, which is the mother, can help you. Like, it can give you power, and that's how I keep growing all the time. It's like I can learn new things, do this, do that. It's just like it really does make you powerful. So understand that, and understand these metaphors here. All right. Okay. So the one from the Quran is, I'm trying to kind of hurry up, but I also want to get all this stuff done. So, okay. When God, I'm not going to read all of this, but the important part is, okay. Look at how it says here that there were angels sent down to teach witchcraft, and also to stir up enmity between a man and a wife. And also all of this stuff, no one can harm you with it except by God's leave. So, and they say, these two angels, they're called Harut and Marut. You might have heard about them if you've watched the History Channel, they say, we are only here to tempt. Do not disbelieve. So it kind of shows you that level above good and evil to where even angels might tell you things to see if you're going to do it. It's not lying because they're saying right there, we are only sent to tempt. So even angels can tempt. All right? It's beyond that. Angels and demons are all spirits above anything. They're all two different kinds of spirits. All right? So remember this. We're all about getting knowledge from above the curse, above karma. Break those chains of karma. They're not real. They're an illusion. Break the curse of good and evil. There's only one way to go, and I showed you that path. All right? Always stay mindful of the path. All right? Always keep in mind, and that's how you attain perfection, is mindfulness. Don't lapse. Don't let the illusion put you to sleep. But stay awake and stay mindful of the path and keep shooting those free throws. Keep shooting those 3-pointers. You know what I mean? And keep perfecting your moves, and that kind of analogy. And for some, it's not an analogy. Let's see. Evil indeed is the price for that which they sold their souls. If only they knew. These are the people that went after it. All right. And they lost share of the hereafter. And if they had believed and been mindful of God, their reward from him would have been far better if only they knew. All right? Don't let people deceive you. Just use the dream river lens and you got nothing to worry about. You got to learn, you got to learn the commands and learn all my teachings and stuff, and that takes time. But just keep going, Failure is a part of success. You got to remember that. Failure doesn't mean you need to stop. Failure just means you got to try it a different way, Change up your experiment, that kind of thing, Okay, so, and the Psalms is basically about someone who totally trusts God with everything. And, you got to go through persecutions, but if you can get through it, people keep trying to tempt me with this and that. And I'm like, look, I'm already a billionaire. All I got to do is wait, So, I'm not worried about it. That new Assassin's Creed, everything's going to PS5. I only have a PS4, so I got to wait on that. This chair is getting worn out. Not like my upstairs chair, my captain's chair. I just got to wait on these things. I just got to wait. Just got to keep working, focusing on work. Don't worry about the money because the money will come, like I've always said. That it will protect you. I will protect you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get hurt. What it means is that even if you get beat down, maimed or killed, you never really die, We're going to have a robotic arm, if not a fleshy robotic arm, with muscle robotics, and we'll always put an arm on, or a leg on, or here's a kidney that we've cloned, or, it's just so many options in the future. A lot of people now are like, how can he do that? I don't understand. How can he know all their thoughts? And how can he kill us over and over again, over in hell prison? It's because we'll have the technology to do it. You got to know about technology. You got to know about the future. You got to know about science. Just because you ignore science and technology doesn't mean it's going to go away. It only increases exponentially. And scientists know what I mean when I say that. All right, so all who swear by God's name will praise him, while the mouths of liars will be silenced. Totally what's happening right now. These liars, they want to stop talking. And eventually they'll be phased out. I just got to work. All right, I just got to wait. Just got to wait. I don't worry. I did get worried during the persecution while I was homeless, as you can imagine. But, okay. So, now we're getting into the verses which will be posted tomorrow's lesson. I've already got it scripted out. All right, so don't worry about it. All right. Okay, so Solomon. He who covers over an offense promotes love, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. And this is a good example of what I posted about Snitch. All right. He was a dude that used to be my best friend, supposedly. And he's gone totally insane. I've been trying to get the people who did the reality show, or who has control of it, my enemies, to actually turn it back on him and have him as a reality show. Because, like I said, the foundation was built on lies, and all from him and my ex-wife. They corroborated and created this story to try to make it seem like I was everything that they were weak about and sinful about, and like they knew that I would never go for that stuff. I would never share my women, and the only reason he wanted to share my women is so he could see me naked. It's like, it's fucked up. And I'm like, I would never go for that. My ex-wife would know that I would never go for that. Any of the side women I had when I was an adulterer, they were all hot. It's like all the girlfriends I've ever had have been hot. It's like I've never wanted to be with a man. That's disgusting to me. I've experienced when I was a kid. It's like, I know that's not something I want. So if you have experimented, that doesn't mean you're gay. Like I said, we're all animals that like to fuck. If we didn't have higher consciousness, we'd try to fuck a tree or a badger or a honey badger or a tiger or, anything like that, or an elephant, So it just all depends on your way of doing things. And he kept repeating this thing, and I'm like, dude, there's no way that I'm coming back to Dallas to be friends with you again, or to be with my ex-wife. That's like, no. In fact, the persecution, they ruined my daughter, but I was able to get rid of something that I suspected the whole time of them sleeping together or fucking each other. All right? It's like they were doing this for years, and I knew it was happening, but I couldn't get any proof. So anyway, that's what it's all about love. But like I say, being humble doesn't mean that you're going to be a wuss. It doesn't mean you're a pushover. It means you got to let people go, especially if they're not of the same faith. If your friends or family aren't of the same faith, if they're not of the Dreamweaver faith, you got to let them go, because they're just going to be bad influences. They're going to try to talk you into stepping away from the cult. Anyway. Okay, so this is Confucius. He who wishes to secure the good of others has already secured his own. All right? Another great example of what I've done. The persecution I went through. I kept working and working. I'd work 8 hours a day sometimes to produce awesome lessons while I was homeless. All right? Like, I was there to work. I had to take one break because it was getting to a lot and it was stacking up, and I had to take a sabbatical. And it was like, I think in December, but then when Easter came around, I was right back into it, and I kept going and kept going. And that's why I'm here, is to work. I'm not here for friends. I want girls to come over, my women to come over, but even if dudes come over ready for the cult, we're walking down to Starbucks or, taking your car or whatever. You're not coming in here. The only dudes that come in here are the maintenance guys, because, of course, they have to. But I can air that shit out quick, because I only want my scent in my apartment. So. Okay. So when women come over, they get crazy and get really wet. And, well, anyway. It's all body chemistry, it's all male, female, we're made to be together, so anyway. Okay, the teaching of Buddha, all right. This one I posted yesterday, but it's really good. Follow then the shining ones, the wise, the awakened, the loving, for they know how to work and forbear. Another perfect example of me. The Dalai Lama might not believe that I'm the Buddha reincarnate, but and all these people from religions are like, well, there's this and that. But, I mean, I've proven that I don't lie, no matter what, I don't sin, So there's respect there, even though they might still be on the fence about it, but they'll come around. It just takes learning, the whole thing that they probably rejected me at first. And now, they're starting to listen. How to work and forbear. That's what I was just talking about during the persecution. I kept working and forbeared the whole thing, the persecution. Like I dealt with it. I knew I just had to get through it. And then they were amazed when I finally said around my birthday, last birthday, that I'm taking the power back. I'm not at the mercy of the people anymore. I'm not giving them power over. And sure enough, they couldn't stop it. For some reason, that power went away. Okay, the Jesus quote. Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. There is nothing concealed that won't be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs. All right? And that's everything that they've said. How could he possibly know all this? How is all of these secrets going to be revealed, even though I'm slowly revealing them? It's all about evidence. I'm going to be somewhat of a detective as I track people down to bring them in. And I'm going to work with the government here in Palmdale and kind of ease them into the Dreamweaver government, that kind of thing, if I'm still here, But, while I'm here to help. But like I said, don't think you can control me. You never will. I do things my own way. I don't work with the cops, but if they give me information, that's fine. I'm not giving them information. It's not a two-way street. It's just, this is what I need. I need this data. I need this. I need that, in order to track these people down. And then I'll have my own royal vehicle with my own purple and white lights, to where on a McLaren, where I can fly around, people get out of my way, and I can just do my own thing. Because I am the king. Okay, let's see. Are there any other verses? Okay. The whole thing about lying, right? It's like, and this does end the chapter here, and it's very important to understand. It's not okay to lie, all right? That's why I give these scriptures here about Socrates, scripture from Socrates, scripture from Jesus here, from Revelations. That's where it says, to the thirsty I will give from the spring of the water of life without payment. That's why I do these meditation series for free. You understand how it's going? I'm teaching you how to have that unlimited potential, all right, through restrainment, like focusing a laser. All right? You got to have the right rules to do it. The only path that will get you to heaven is through me, and that's also through Jesus. Jesus will be honored in this world and the next, like the Quran said in that whole scripture about Mary. And that's only one account that the Quran has of Jesus. But it is important for you to see that even in the Quran, Jesus is recognized as the Messiah. But Jesus and I are one, like he used to say. The Father and I are one. That doesn't mean Jesus is God, but Jesus is honored. We're both. He has the throne next to me, and I have the throne. Okay, the throne from the King of David. And if you read that verse from Isaiah 9:6 through 7 or 8. It's all about me. A lot of them want to account a lot of scriptures, anything they can of Jesus, but they forget about God because they think Jesus is God. Anyway, if you conquer, you will be my children, okay? But the cowardly, the faithless, the detestable, for the murderers, the sexual immoral, the sorcerers, the idolaters, and all liars. All liars. That means no more Santa Claus. No more Easter Bunny. All right? You see what I'm saying? No more Tooth Fairy or whatever you do in your own country, around the world. No more lying to kids. I mean, all liars. That means everybody. Okay? Anybody who lies in any way, even white lies, it's like white lies are lies. Everything is a lie if it's a lie. If it's not the truth, it's the lie. There's no in between on that one. Okay. All the liars, their portion will be in the lake that it burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. And people are like, well, Stephen, if you're against violence, how can you be violent in hell and hell prison? And Antarctica is like hell freezing over, It's like, pretty funny, huh? And it's like, what do you expect hell to be? Like, here, have some weed and have this ecstasy or have this hydrocodone, and here, chill out on a nice comfy couch and watch TV. It's like, what do you think hell's gonna be? Of course it's all about torture and pain and violence. It's like, that's what you get for being what you did. Like all these goddamn rappers, Like, the best rapping group is the Beastie Boys. They, even through their progression, went through the violent states, put away the violence, all about Buddha, all about integrating everything. Those are role models. But these other rappers here, please, they're just scraping for life. Okay. And when I say please, it's totally sarcastic because I don't say please. I tell you. Okay. Not everyone who says, this is Jesus, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. He didn't say I'm God. He says the Father. You understand? Okay. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons and perform miracles? And then I will tell them, I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. And that's what a lot of you people who think you're going to make it in, I'm just going to be like, nope, head on over to the empire. All right. Like I say, anybody involved in all this harassment doesn't even see the empire. All right. They won't see how awesome Dream Over World is at all. Because they're straight to Antarctica. All right. And let's get that money. But Israel, telling you, you need to make a transfer, and I know you won't do this, but you need to make a transmission, all right, and like send it out to everybody, apologizing to the world for what you've done the past month or two. Humble yourselves. You're all mad at everybody. It's like, what's going to make you happy? What's going to make you content? What do you want? Everybody in the world to bow down to you? Netanyahu, are you Ezra? Are you the one that they've all been waiting for? Fuck off. You ain't anything. All right? And I'm going to show you what's up, what's for when I see you face to face. And one of these days I will. You think you're Putin, and so powerful, but you're a piece of shit. Like, step down. Let a righteous leader lead. Bring righteousness back to Israel and don't be warlike. How stupid you got to be to break a truce that is peace on earth? You're dumb. Accept your delusion. I'm not going to be nice about this. I'm not nice. When I come to you, I will be using penetrating words because you're shit. That's all you are, scum. All right. But you can improve. You can improve. There's always hope for everyone if they'll repent. And but for you, Israel, I said there's nothing you can do, but, telling everybody you apologize would be great. And talking to me directly and repenting would be awesome. But like I said, I'm going to make this easy when I come there and I create peace. And I'm going to say, this is how it is. Let the Palestinians form as a country. Quit throwing missiles at them all the time. Let them develop. They're not going to push you off in the ocean. You might think, well, I'd rather get pushed off in the ocean than go to Antarctica. It's like, well, whatever you want. Those oceans are rising, so you need to make a decision. Okay. I think that does it. Oh, we start metaphysics tomorrow. That's really cool stuff. It's not L. Ron Hubbard, fuck L. Ron Hubbard and fuck all his clones. It's Scientology, it's all bullshit. So they took that cool term metaphysics and like all the crystals and all that shit, it's like crystals do not help you. It's like it's all in your mind. Everything doesn't have power unless you give power to it. Even the Bible, even the Quran, they're not holy. All right? Yeah, you need to respect them. What I always do is have a holy book of I want a holy book of everything that's nice up on the library shelf. And then, if you've ever used the Bible a lot, it gets worn. That's just how it is. And people use highlighters. So I have a Bible, I have a Quran, I have anything to do, whatever you're studying, I have one to put up on the shelf, a nice one, like a hardbound, that's what I have planned. And get all these books back that I gave away and all this stuff. But that's how you do it. All right? Yeah, don't think that the Quran is it's important. It is very important, don't get me wrong, but it's just like the Bible, and yes, the Quran is fallible. If you take pride in the Quran being infallible, you're missing the point. It's like, and it's not right. It's like everything is fallible, and I'm here to connect the dots. I'm here to show you everything with my own intelligence and wisdom, bringing all this together so we can be perfect and do the awesome things as awesome societies do. Stop being so hatred against each other and help each other. How long has Africa been suffering? It's just or the Middle East. Nobody gives a shit about the Middle East or Africa because a lot of people are racist. And I'm like my mom, well, we don't do that anymore. What we do is buy wells in Africa. And I'm like, that water is shitty. It's like, why would you want to do that? Bring fresh water in from these desalinization plants to the interior of these countries and these continents. Even the United States. California is running out of water. It's like everybody is going to be running out of water, even though we're going to have so much. It's all salt water. It's not drinkable. All right. Wow, we're coming up on 50 minutes now, but I think that is all that I wanted to cover. I even dogged out Tyson. I even dogged out, his last name is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Right. So, that black scientist, he says a lot of things, but he says a lot of wrong things too. But that's all humans, it's like, that's what science is about, to get it right. And if somebody challenges you, I'll challenge anybody. Okay, Jerry Cantrell, that new album, rocking. All right. Oh yeah, one more thing from Jesus. Consider carefully what you hear. With the measure you use, it will be measured against you, and even more. Whoever has will be given more. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. That's kind of like the parable that Jesus talks about giving people meanness. put that meaning to work. But it's not really about money, it's about talents. Like if judgment, you haven't done anything with your life and you've basically given up, it's like, so just be careful what you hear, be aware. Use the Dream River lens. The measure you use, it will be measured to you. These people are like, how can you be so mean? It's like, think about what you did to me. What do you expect? Okay. Bridges, Kelsey, don't forget me. Bridget and Sabrina, I'll show you where the line is. And don't go. I love that woman though. But I don't, wish she was mine. I want her to get that full relationship with that marriage. I think they got married in May. And so if she wants to leave, that's fine, but at least have a full year of marriage, Test your dude. Like, he's going to be weak, but maybe he can get strong, Compared to me, all dudes are weak, So that's why it's so attractive for females, is they know that I'm not going to let them do whatever they want to do. I'm not going to give in to it. Only if it's righteous. Okay. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a short video, but there's a lot that I have to cover. Trump, come on, man. 2 weeks to the election, are you really going to go down like that? I'm going to snipe the shit out of you, the life out of you. You old man, I'm going to take it all. Take it all from you. You and your bed buddy Musk. Okay, that's good. We're just over 52 minutes. That's more than I wanted to, but it's plenty of information. All right, you got a whole day to study it. It was an awesome lesson. I told everybody how it is, and it's like, you can either have punishment from me, or you can have my blessing. All right, so think about that. I'm not really that hung up on image. I do have my own facial hair, my own look, totally original. All right, I'm going to go. Peace out. Peace. Peace on earth. Let's get it done before Christmas. All right? That's like, you might not care about Christmas, but it's a goal. Like, Christmas isn't really important. But as a goal, not everybody believes in peace on earth. Until now, they didn't think it was possible. It's the second creation. I'm your man. I'm your God. I'm your king. Listen to me and obey. And use discipline. Use your brain. All right? Stay mindful of the path. Bye. Bye.